Hello, friends. This is a live stream that I normally don't do. Who knows if anybody's even going to show up, but I have decided, oops, I got got mail and stuff on my desk. Anyway, as I was saying, I have decided it is Thursday night, 7:30 at night, just a little bit past actually 7:39, and I've want to make some postcards. I have finished these four, which I'll show you in the top-down camera. These are the four that I have finished already. They're not addressed. They're not really, they don't actually have a recipient for each one, but they will soon. So I have decided for my family and friends that are giving me postcards this year, I want to send them a quilted postcard. I always mean to send out Christmas cards. And then I get to that point in December where I'm like, I can't do it because it's too late now. So I just figured this year is going to be different, and we're not going to start big. We're not going to send them out to everybody I know. I'm just going to return a card with a card. I have gotten 4 Christmas cards this year. Although I do have mail in my post office box and I have not checked it because I've been really busy. But I've gotten 4 Christmas cards at my home this year. So I have 4 postcards made. And I figured maybe I can make some more. So here we go. The reason why I have decided to do this tonight is because it's Thursday night and I want to sew something, but I'm a little lonely because there's nobody in my sewing room with me. And yeah, I just figured what better way to not be lonely. I can hang out with all of you. So I've got the chat up. I can see everything that you're saying. Aw, thank you, Courtney. I have no idea why Stream Elements is running. I don't even remember enabling that. I know I did, actually. I know I did, but apparently I have 2 bots going. What? I don't even know what that is. But anywho, I figured I could just bring up the chat. I can see all of the chat. So any questions you have, any comments you have, anything you want to talk about, totally impromptu live. Just keep me company while I quilt up some postcards. Sound good? Good. I'll go ahead and go to the overhead camera and I'll just show you what I'm working on. And maybe you've got some last minute Christmas gifts that you want to work on too. And this is a great opportunity, can't talk, to maybe knock out some of your last minute Christmas gifts. So I'm going to make postcards. And I kind of feel like I'm stealing a page out of Ian's book by doing this, but he won't care. It's not a competition, right? Aw, thank you, Nancy. Nancy Jean #2 says she loves my Christmas cards. Karen Parker says, though these are adorable, I've ordered the Christmas squad to make them. Awesome. Hello, Tracy from West Virginia. Hello, Linda Denton. Hello, Katrina Hugh. Hi, Jen Gamble from Washington State. I'm going to set these just kind of up here. Then we're all reminded what I am working on tonight. That's what I'm working on. So I know we've all seen these happen before. I've done them on my live stream with Ian. Ian's done several of them, and they're really kind of easy. You just start sewing fabric together until you get a 5x7 block. I actually go with a 6x9 and then I trim it down. But you know, there's a hack here. Do you know about this hack? Yeah, it's called grab a piece of batting and grab a piece of fabric that you just absolutely love and just quilt it. I'm not joking. Oh, look at that cute little, got some bonus half square triangle units there, but there's not very much in the way of contrast on those. So look at this. Wouldn't this be really cute to just be on a postcard all by itself? So I'm just going to do some straight line quilting on this. These are scraps of batting that I have that are at least 6.5 inches by 9.5 inches. And that's what I'm going to cut if I can find. Ah, there it is. Hey, Shirley, how are you? So I'm just going to cut 6.5 inches by 9.5 inches. I know it needs to be 6.5 inches tall, so it's going to square up to 5 inches, 5x7. This will give me a couple of them. This one's cute, right? And I'm just going to do straight line quilting on this because I think that'll be cute too. What does the Piazza Mystery Quilt with Nirvana? Who does the, oh, Kimberly Ross is asking, who does the Piazza Mystery Quilt with Nirvana in a size small? I love your postcards. Oh, postcards, got it. I don't know, but you know who would know is Robin from the Cotton Cuts team. If you just go into the Facebook group and you just say, hey, is anyone doing the size small in this colorway? I am sure they will find somebody to help you. Yeah, Nancy, he showed everybody how to make these, didn't he? So, a funny story with this. I'm gonna go for straight-ish. Doesn't matter if the lines are perfectly straight. But the funny story that I had is my stitch quality when I was quilting the first round of postcards was not where I wanted it to be. I could tell my tension was off, and I was like, oh no, what's going on? Well, then I remembered that if the tension on the top looks bad, then it's your bobbin tension. And if the tension on the bottom looks bad, then it's your top tension. And the tension that I was seeing that was off was definitely on the top. So I actually had to pull my bobbin case out for the very first time ever, actually made a little adjustment, and now the stitches look absolutely gorgeous. I can see the humps. Before it just looked like a straight line, which I guess is okay if you're just piecing, but when you're quilting, you want those stitches to look good. So I'm just going to straight line quilt this. This is totally a cheater postcard because I didn't piece it at all, but the fabric is cute by itself, so why not, right? Becca, I'm going to be 62 next month, so who came first, me or your mom? Oh, you're still Nancy Jean number 2. I think my mom will be 68 next year, so she's 67 now. You're still Nancy Jean number 2. I love that you have the same name as my mom. I'll never forget that now. That fabric is adorable. Hey, Beth, what are you doing? How you feeling, girl? How's the little bean? Still have quilts to send to you. Guess what I haven't done? Hello, Paula McBray from Kokomo, Indiana. How are you doing? You know, I actually have to do one quick thing. I realized I need to fix something here. Give me a moment. There's a setting that I can set on my live stream that helps reduce trolls and spammers and such. So I just want to turn that on really quick so that so that the only people that are hanging out with us are people that really want to be here. Let's do that. There we go. All right, that should be coming through in just a moment. There we go. The plague has arrived in the good household, starting to feel better. Almost 29 weeks, but baby Archie. The plague has hit this area too. I'm recovering still, which I think accounts for a lot of the blah that I feel. I guess I can let the cat out of the bag. I did have COVID. I am still recovering. Got it shortly after Ian left. He did not get it. He is fine. But no, I got it. And actually, I had a really cool live stream scheduled for tomorrow night with this lady, Erin, from Love So Modern. She is a pattern designer and writer, and she does all sorts of wonderful things. And she was going to bring a bunch of quilts that she made from her patterns, and we are going to do a lovely trunk show because she only lives about half an hour away from me, but she's gotten sick, so we're going to have to postpone that. It's been something we've been trying to plan since October, if you can believe it. So soon, but probably in the new year, so stay tuned for that. Nancy Jean says, okay, I'm the number 2. I have always been told I'm a little poop. I won't say that word, but I get what you say. Look at all those puppies and the pandas and the reindeers. Oh my goodness, it's so cute. Ah. Hi, Karen. We are doing well. Thank you for asking. Hello, Rachel. Brenda Ogden says hello from Maryland. Goody Good says, oh no, I hope you recover soon. It's that time of year, I suppose. Sucks having to miss out on things. My birthday and Addie's birthday celebrations got canceled. Oh no, I'm so sorry. Yeah, it is. And I think it's just I think this time of year now is just going to be par for course, right? Like you're going to get the flu or a cold or the C word or all three. It's the funniest thing too. I got it. My test came back super positive, super fast, twice, back to back, because we thought I got a false positive. Nobody else in my house got it. Nobody. And people that I had interacted with didn't get it. I was the only one. I have no idea how that happened, but yeah, I still feel a little out of it. I'm still recovering. I think I attract it, to be honest with you. Hello, Doreen. Rachel says, what pretty nails. Aren't they cute? So when I went in and got my manicure, I like going every 2 to 3 weeks, and I like getting them done. This is just a little treat that I get to do for myself. This makes me very happy. So I knew I wanted to do some red and green nails for Christmas, and I'll see if we can get that to focus a little bit. See, come on. I have no idea if it's going to focus. Come on, focus! Focus! There we go. It's focusing-ish. But the light's kind of killing it. Anyway, so the lady, I was like, ooh, I'm going to get the red and the green, and I'm going to alternate colors so that it looks like Christmas lights. And I sat down at the table, and the lady starts getting the color ready. And she was like, ooh, do you want to do a design? And I was like, do you like doing design? She goes, yes. And I was like, well, then let's do a design. So we started talking about like what design to do and what color to put on each nail. And I just looked over the table and I went, you know what? You decide. And she was like, oh, me? And I was like, yeah. So this is all her design. She did a snowflake on the ring finger, and then she did a Christmas tree. And again, you can't really see. Maybe that'll help. There, she did a snowflake on the ring finger and a Christmas tree on the pointer finger on both hands. And I was just, okay, I love it. Thank you. I couldn't do it, but she had a lot of fun with it. But I was thinking, as like when I told her to do that, I was thinking about like when somebody tells me they want a quilt, I don't want them to tell me the colors to use in the quilt. Maybe give me some inspiration, give me a direction to go, but I don't want them to micromanage the blocks. I don't want them to micromanage where to place the color. I don't want them to micromanage the quilting. I don't want them to micromanage anything. I want them to give me something to go off as an inspiration, and I want to have creative control over it. So I always like going and giving the nail technician creative control, because this is an artistic form. I mean, if they're just putting a color on and they don't seem interested, that's fine. But when they're like, oh, can I do a design? Can I draw? Can I paint? Yes, please. And have fun with it and enjoy yourself, because I know how much of a creative outlet I get from doing stuff like this. So I can only imagine that they feel the same way. Gigi Quilt says, I'm so excited you're on tonight. It's been a day. It's nice to be with friends after a crazy day. Right? It has been a crazy few weeks for me. Work has been really busy, and I've found myself a couple nights this week home relatively on time, not as early as I normally am, but with enough time that I could sew if I want to. But then I find I'm sitting in my sewing room and I'm just staring at the walls like, I wish I had someone to talk to. I wish I had someone to hang out with. And I want to sew, but I don't know. So I'm going to just do the same thing on this one that I did on that one. I'm just going to do straight lines again because the straight lines look pretty cool. So we're just going to keep quilting these tops. So I feel you on that. Absolutely. It's terrible to be sick during the holidays. I hope you feel well and can celebrate with your family for Christmas. I'm sure that's for Beth. Yes, and I hope the same thing. because it's your art. That's right. Nobody wants to be micromanaged when they're making art. I don't. And it's honestly why I don't do commission quilts, because this should be a therapeutic release for me. I don't want to stress out making something, and I would stress out. I would overthink it, and I would worry that I would not be making somebody happy with whatever I put together. So, yeah, I don't do commissions for that reason alone. Although, if I'm being completely honest with you, I have lots of quilt tops that seem to just keep getting backed up, and I think I'm at the point now where I may want to start thinking about investing in Pro Stitcher, because the quilts are waiting on the rack for me to quilt them, and I love doing that, but I could have quilts finished. The ones that I'm just going to do an all-over design, the Amara could do it for me. So it's in my head to think about. Maybe it's a 2024 goal. We'll see. I mean, if Handy Quilter wants to send me one for free, I won't say no. I'm just sewing straight lines on a piece of fabric, and we're calling it quilted, and someone's gonna love it. I made that song up. Not copyrighted. Feel free to use it. Hey, Ian. Are you with Dexter? That's what I'm doing. You already know what I'm doing. Do it, Becca. Pro Stitcher, do it. Hey, if I do it, will you come out and show me the tricks that your long arm quilter has taught you? Because if you guys don't know, he has a long arm quilter, but the long arm quilter that he uses does this really cool thing with Pro Stitcher where she sizes designs and plops them in specific areas of the quilt. I would like to do that. I think that would be fun. I love gadgets. I could see myself doing that. Yeah, I want to do it, but I also know it's going to be like a $10,000 investment to do it. So I'm hesitating for a bit. We'll see what 2024 brings. Maybe I'll try to save up for it, see if I can put either a good down payment on it or just pay cash for it, because I don't need it. It's a want. And I say it's a want, and I know somebody out there is either thinking this or is going to say it, but if you got Pro Stitcher, then you could quilt quilts for people and charge them, and the money that you charge them, you could put towards the payment of the Pro Stitcher. I'm not doing that. I have no interest in doing it as a business or a commission. I would want it for me and my friends and charity quilts only. Maybe down the road that's something I'd think about, but it's not something I really have any interest in doing right now. And a lot of it is really just a time constraint thing, because I work out of the home all week, and the last thing I want to do is spend all my time in my studio doing other people's quilts. I want to work on my projects. Send some tops my way. I'm learning to use my Rachel. I have tops I need to, I'll preface it this way. I will gladly send you some tops if you email me, becca@SEWBECCA.com, your physical mailing address. I'll send you one or two. But I will preface it with, Beth has been waiting for tops from me for a long time. So, like, probably a couple of months. So don't count on them getting there anytime soon. But maybe I could toss one or two in the mail. You got to provide your own backing, your own batting, but I'd send you a top or two. And you don't even have to send it back. Just pass it on. Make it a charity quilt. But think about getting a quilt started and being able to just supervise. Yes, I know. That's what I'm thinking about. Like, that's one of the things that's been going through my mind is like I could have it running and stitching while I'm over here piecing something or watching TV or taking care of, like, I don't know. Since I'm not doing it as a commission, I don't need to stand over top of it. If it was a commission, I'd feel like I'd have to watch every single stitch going on that machine. But yeah, thinking about it. Honestly, you know what got me thinking about it? It was the quilt show in Fredericksburg that we went to. And because I immediately was just telling myself, no, no, no. And I'd walk away. And we went to when Jason showed up, we went over and played at the Handy Quilter booth. And they were asking again, oh, do you want it? Because the prices are going to go up. Da, 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 da. We can get you filled out. We can get everything taken care of. And I was like, no, I'm good. And Jason was like, are you sure? And I was like, wait, is this an option? So, yeah, thinking about it. We'll see. Oh, there's Tiffany on Marco Polo. Hi, Tiffany. Okay. There we go. Got those two quilted. Let's pick another piece of big print. Your setup in that studio is perfect for just that, right? It is. I love it. I also love my studio, but hello, Mary. So good. I like, okay. So we have soft water in our house. We have a water softener system, and I love nugget ice, you know, like that Chick-fil-A soft ice, pellet ice. It's delicious. But I have learned a trick. If I get water out of my fridge and then I put the ice cubes in the cup of water and I let the ice cubes sit for just a little while, the ice cubes get soft enough to crunch without killing your teeth. I don't know if it's because we have a water softener system or because it's a fridge. I don't know what it is, but oh my goodness, I love it. So I think this one would also be really good to do on a card. Look how big those prints are. Let's try that. Hi, Laura. Well, I love my studio too, Mr. Ian, and I am ready for you to come back and hang out with me in my studio. I love having friends in my studio. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. Oh, that's too big. It's just, I could probably make it work. The whole circle is wider than 5 inches. So I'm gonna save this because I don't want to, I just want something that I can just sew straight lines through, and I think that one is not it. Not it. Hey, Tiffy. What are you doing, pretty lady? Oh, let's do some ugly sweaters. Hit some ugly mittens. Oh, look at that scrap. That'd be great for some small piecing. We'll do 2 pieces of this. Gail says, I just bought that fabric and the farm collection. Awesome. I think I can get 2 out of this. So I'm just going to cut a nice big piece, and I've got this really nice long piece over here, and I'm just going to do some straight line quilting on this one. I thought I had the salvage in that for a moment. It is a cute print, isn't it? It is indeed. Hi, Tanya. I'm looking forward to Sunday too, Mary. I am really ready for a visit from you. Y'all, Mary fell and hurt herself. She's probably about as clumsy as Ian is, I guess. Okay, here we go. I'm just going to do straight lines on this, and then I think I can get it. I think I can. We'll see. Straight line quilting for all of us to see. I really don't know. Don't ask. I feel like I'm taking the cheater way out. But it doesn't matter because It's my studio and my rules, and I can do what I want. You're not the boss of me. You still take the... Ian says he still takes the crown in the clumsy department. I know you've been housebound for 2 weeks. Hey, Patty, I haven't seen you in a minute. How are you doing, Miss Patty Catty Lady? I said catty lady. I mean cat lady. Hello, Patty Patty. What is Becca making? Becca is taking the cheater way out for some quilty postcards. I really want to send out more quilted postcards, but I don't have stuff pieced, and I'm running at the 11th hour. So I have decided to take some big chunks of pretty Christmas fabric that I think can stand on its own and just quilt them. And by quilt them, apparently I mean straight line quilting. And then I'll trim them up, and off camera after the live stream is over, I'll run a zigzag around the outside of each of these. But I am going to baste all the layers together so that everything's ready to go. It's not cheating, Beth said. I know. Hey, listen, stop falling stuff over. When I kick it into Tiffany speed, things topple over here. It doesn't like it. My desk shakes. Oh. Nothing wrong with that, Becca. I hear ya. Great, working. Gotta make money for my hobby. I hear you. Yes. Can I work for a quilt shop just so I can get fabric at cost? That would be great. I'd love that. But then it would take time away from my sewing room, so I don't know if I'd want to. I got plenty of fabric in my stash. I don't need to buy more. I mean, I do buy fabric, but nowhere near like what I used to. And I actually believe a lot of that is because I can see all of the fabric I have. Do you glue them to cardstock? I do. Ian has a whole video on how to do this, so I am following his method. But essentially, I'm just quilting the fabric to the batting, and then I'll square it up to the size I want it to be. I'll fuse it to a piece of 72 or 71F one-sided Peltec, not two. And the glue side is going to go against the batting. And then I'll stack it with a cardstock and run a zigzag around the outside. I don't glue it to the cardstock. I zigzag it to it. I'm going to do one more right here. Oh, no, Becca, employee discounts are a dangerous game. It's so hard to have restraint. Speaking like someone knows. Do you know about that, Beth? I think you do. Hello, Lydia. How are you? Boop, 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 boop. works. I think for this one, I might do straight line quilting. Hey, here's the thing, okay? Whoever gets these is not going to know that there was a whole bunch sent out with just straight lines on them. It's a slippery slope when you're always seeing the new stuff come in before anyone else. It's a blessing and a curse. That's what Beth said. Tiffany and her bacon. Bacon's yummy. Did you guys see her haul video yesterday? Somebody sent her a box of stuff and it looks like there was an Aliso iron in there that somebody got for 11 bucks. What? Mary says, I did straight line quilting with the painter's tape on my Christmas stocking. Absolutely nothing wrong with that. Hey, I'm just lining up the edge of my foot with the last line of stitching that I did. So everything is coming out pretty even and straight-ish. I learned that term from Angela Walters. We're not going for straight, we're going for straight-ish. The Aliso iron, Tiffany scored herself at a local thrift store. Ah, but she did get a fabulous fabric gift. Gotcha. I was watching the video, but I didn't have the sound on because I was talking to Ian. So I was watching the chat, but I didn't know what she was saying. Oopsies! That's good enough. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and square these up to 5 by 7. I've got probably enough here for about 5. So I'm going to square these up to 5 by 7. Not going to worry too much about the lines being perfectly straight. I just want to make sure that I get a good clean cut on all 4 sides. Make sure my iron is still on. It is. I'll scrape this away, turn it around. Clean that up. So now I've got that one done. Okay. Go with 5. Oopsies. That won't work. Okay. I think I'm only going to have enough to get a couple. This one's not quite big enough. That's fine. It's all just scrap fabric anyway. Wow, that is really delayed. But you know what? I don't always need the overhead camera while I'm working. We'll give it a break and see if it catches back up. You can still see a pretty wide shot of what I'm working on. There's another one. And then these two I'm going to square up to 5x7 as well. She got the Aliso at Goodwill or secondhand store. What a great big box of fabric she got too. Yeah, I was watching the fabrics. I saw some butterfly fabric. She loves her butterflies. I looked for 2 little wide backs today and couldn't find any, Pat said. Turn it this way. I want the designs, if I can, to be straight. I'm not going to worry too much about the quilting. So there we go. You can make cute ornaments with the quilted mini scraps. You could. You could do lots of things. There are no rules. You could throw them away. You could burn them. You could put them in a dog bed. You could turn them into another project. Lots of things you could do. And none of those are wrong. Okay, I've got 4. So I'm going to turn my iron back on because it turned it off. I don't know why it turned off. It didn't want to work, I guess. And I already cut ahead of time some Peltex. This is bumpy on one side, so it's got the glue on the one side. I'm going to lay it with the bumpy side up. And then I'm going to grab one of my little quilted postcards, the little quilted piece. I'm going to lay that down. And then when the iron's nice and hot, I'm just going to come in and just apply heat slowly across this whole thing. I'm trying to get the, hello Mona, I'm trying to get the Peltex glue to melt, melty, and then adhere to the batting, not the fabric. And if it looks like I'm going really slow, it's because I am. I could come back in from the back and do this too. I'm doing it right now and I feel like I shouldn't. I'm always nervous to do that. Yeah, see, because I feel like it leaves a residue on the iron. And now that residue's gone. Yes, I just wiped it on my mat. You're welcome. My room, my rules. The mittens would be great for ornaments. I've got tons left, so I could do all of the things. I'm going to melt this one down too. Crystal says, oh, postcard. Sorry I was late. Hi all. Hello. Tiffany's going back to the long arm, so she will just be listening. Okay, bye, Tiff. See you later. After a while, alligator. Wait, no. See you later, alligator. After a while, crocodile. That's the way it goes, right? Okay. Get another one. See, and the thing is, these are still cute by themselves. If you have a really big print that you just absolutely love, just cut like a 6x8 piece of it, quilt it up, square it up. Becca, it has glue on both sides. Oh, well, mine is this, it's no glue. Okay, whatever. Maybe I got the 72. I thought I got the 71. Whatever, it doesn't matter. You were with me when we bought it, so we'll just go by your word. And we won't put the glue on the Peltex side. Peltex, is that like interfacing? Is it soft or paper? It is like cardstock. It's really, really thick. This is, if you go in Joann's, they have it as either 72F or 71F. 71 means that the glue is on one side, and 72 means the glue is on 2 sides. But the F means that it's fusible, and the 72 is really, really thick. Oh my goodness. Have Needle Will Travel says, I got a Grace 10-foot quilting frame for $11 at a thrift store last week. Oh my goodness. Ian, you're probably right. But it's not sticking to my mat, so that's why I thought it wasn't there, but whatever. Okay, so here are the 4 Christmas cards, postcards that I quilted and fused to the Peltex. And just to kind of keep things like super nice and tidy, I'm going to turn my stitch length up to a 4, and right around the edge, like really close to the edge, I'm just going to base stitch the card onto the back of it, like really right at the edge. And I probably only have to do the top, but I'm going to do all 4 sides. That's just going to keep things for me a little bit tidier when I take it over to the baby lock and do my zigzag stitch around all 4 sides. Then I don't have to worry about it shifting. And with doing a 4mm stitch length, this is the first time I've done it, so I'm hoping it works. It won't perforate the card behind it. It'll just hold things nice and tidy. And I am going right up against the edge, and my zigzag is going to come in a bit wider than that. So I'm going to do that to all of these. I'm going to put the cardstock on the back. Technically, I think that probably could be done if I wanted it to be, but I want to zigzag it, so. Ian said he used 72F and did the glue and paper. So I'm just going to give another heat set and see if some of that glue melts through onto the cardstock behind it. Nothing else that'll hold it up, right? Guess we can test it here too. It also came with Sure Stitch, she said. Her husband found it. Rachel says, have you ever tried a dryer sheet to clean your iron? Yes. Yes, that's my go-to method. A friend of mine taught, this didn't stick, so I think I have the 71, Ian. It did not stick to the paper at all. Maybe we were trying to look for the 72 and couldn't find it. I don't remember. But yes, the dryer sheet, it's amazing. So a friend showed me that at a quilting retreat this past summer. It's awesome. Absolutely love it. Hi, Jewel. How are you? Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, Happy don't celebrate anything at all. Whatever it is that you celebrate or don't celebrate. Merry, happy, whatever. To everybody. There's another one. Do you use a new dryer sheet? You can use both, I think. I have some I have some dryer sheets right here. I'll show you, because I did put something on there. I actually ended up with 2, but same thing. Oh, iron on the paper side. Okay, so this is what I was taught to do. I need paper towel too, but I don't have any, so I'm gonna hope I'll use this because this can be washed. You take your iron and you iron this, and then you put a paper towel on the side and you just wipe it off. Wipe the residue off just like this. That's it. And it smells really good. We've got the Gain dryer sheets. You can get a few uses out of one of these too, by the way. I would recommend, I just left some perfumey stuff on here. I would recommend, if you're going to do it, put a paper towel or something down underneath it, because it'll keep it a little bit neater. I'm just going to wipe that off. It's just some of the oils. There. Oh, it smells so good. It's the Gain scent. Oh. Hi, Beverly. It is a game changer. Merry Christmas. I'm glad you caught me too. How does a dryer sheet clean and iron? I just demonstrated that. There you go. That's what I do. And then you can also use it to get in the nooks and crannies around your iron too. It's just as good as like that paste that you get from Dritz to like clean your iron. That's my go-to. They sell them as iron cleaners in packages at quilting stores, and all it is, dryer sheets. Unscented dryer sheets. Wax paper. Gail Tips uses wax paper. I'll have to try that one too. Look at all you fellas. Oh, that one didn't catch at the bottom, but it catched everywhere else. Caught, catched. The catched is... What the... What? Pat Boo says, I use the dryer sheets on top of my linens like a satchel. Sachet. Sachet? Satchel? Satchel? Sachet? Sachet. Mary said, yep, and once it becomes a quilting product, the price doubles. Yeah, just go into the grocery store, get the unscented off-brand dryer sheets in the box of like 25 or 50, you'll be set forever. Well, not forever, but each dryer sheet, like you can get a few uses out of one. So like it'll last you a while. Put it on your Christmas list. You're welcome. All right, now I got these done. They are basted around, so I can take them over to the baby lock and do my zigzag on it later. I think I'll make a couple more because I got some more. Hello, Lena. Yes, Yolanda, I am making some quilty postcards, but I am doing it the quick and easy method. So I'm just cutting off pieces of fabric that have a print that I feel like can stand alone on its own. I'm not piecing, I'm not bordering, I'm not worrying about blocks. I'm just quilting the fabric. And then I am basting it to some Peltex and stay stitching it with my cardstock. And I'll do a zigzag off screen later. This one will be pretty. Let's do this one. That was really pretty. Let's do this. Oh, somebody's going to love this one, and it won't be me. We'll set that aside. We're going to do this one. Doesn't the wax come off when you put a heated iron to it? Oh, yeah, probably. I like to, I don't, but maybe it's one of those things where it comes onto the, I don't know. Maybe it comes off as liquid form and you wipe it off and that's what cleans it. I had a ruler. It was a nice ruler. It was about 6.5 inches by 12.5 inches. It was on my desk. I promise you I had, did I? Oh, I set it on the floor. I lied. Ba, 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 ba. See if that overhead camera is behaving a little bit better now. Nope, not at all. It's probably because I didn't reboot the computer before I did the live stream and I've got a million other applications running. Let's put that. Ooh, that's a lot. Ooh, ooh, that's a lot. literally closing all of these applications that are just taking resources away. See what happens after all that's had a chance to shut down and reprioritize where things should go. We're going to go ahead and do some more straight line quilting. Woohoo! Oh, you know what I just did? Quilted with a 4mm stitch length. You know what? We're going to stick with it. It's still quilted. If I change it now, you'll notice we're going to call that a design element. That's what we're going to do. Ooh, that sounded violent. It's like, whoa. Elena says, I wonder if anyone's tried to send postcards to Australia. That's a great question. On the side of your... Oh, yeah, I found it. Oh, too soon. Thread came undone. Hello, Pat Boo. Go have a nice nap. I hope you feel better. Denise says, I just got here. What are you making? Just quilting some rectangles of beautiful Christmas fabric that I am turning into quilted postcards because I can. And now what I am trying to do is thread a needle, and it doesn't want to. Get in the hole. I find it's a lot easier when I turn my body. So with the Juki, it's a high-speed machine. And I think, though I'm not sure, I am pretty confident that I'm right, though. Any of these machines where the stitches are high speed, oh, well, that's not true because long arms and mid arms aren't like this. But the sewing machines like this, where they're a little high speed, the needles go in sideways, so the hole is on the side, not on the front. So when I have to thread a needle, if I need to see the hole, I kind of need to go off to the side so I can see it. This may be a dumb question, but can you mail them? This is new to me. Yes, you can. Ian has done a video on this before. Usually I put mine in an envelope, but Ian actually did it while I was here. He had a quilty postcard that he made, and he mailed it off to a friend from here. And literally, he just dropped it right in the mailbox, and it ended up where it was going. No envelope, no nothing. It was mailed just like a postcard. I wonder what the postage would be for it to go out of country. Oh no! Did I just run out of bobbin? Something happened because it's not stitching anymore. Polly says, LOL, I just put a load of wash in the dryer and my pup jumped in the dryer. That would not have been good if I did see him. Oh, I did run out of bobbin. Well, I'll be. You know what time it is? I just changed my needle because I knew this was my last bobbin. It's time to load up about 25 bobbins. And by 25, I mean like 8 or 9. A global forever stamp. Okay, so if I just buy a global forever stamp, then I can mail these anywhere in the world. If I buy a package of them, then I can mail these to my friends outside of the country. Is that true? No way. Dude, I'm going to go buy a book. I'm going to start sending these out to everybody. Should I just wind one bobbin and no more than that? I've been doing that a lot. I'm like, I just need to sew. I just need one bobbin. I should probably just take the time to wind a whole row of them. That's the one benefit to having those pre-rounds, man. You don't have to stop and do this. That it is, I got this off of, I think Kimberly Jelly did this. I think she talked about it in a live stream one time. She winds a whole box of bobbins at one time and just sews until they run out. And I was like, that's genius. I think I'm going to do that, except I've been doing just enough to, I do about 8. And then when those 8 are done, I know it's time to change a needle. I honestly could probably push it to 10 or so, but I feel like what I see is about the time I get through 8 or 9 bobbins, my stitch quality with that needle is starting to get a little subpar. I could still sew with it, but probably shouldn't. And it's a much more accurate way in my mind of measuring time, that the amount of time that you use that needle, because sometimes you can go weeks or, oh my goodness, months without sewing, or you could spend a lot of time doing other things or stitching very, very, very slowly. So your wear and tear in that needle isn't necessarily, it's not always consistent. No 2 hours are created equal. I just go by the bobbin. Wind 8, then replace. I think it's 8, something like that. What I do is I fill up a whole row. I fill up a whole row down here. Hello, Ozark Lady Creative Moods. Hello, Debbie Dunn. Try to get this in here. Here we go. Oh, it's bedtime. I want to say thank you for saving me tons of money in the last few weeks. I asked you a question about buying fabric, and your answer has saved me a small fortune. Lily, were you the question about I just started sewing and I want to know what to buy? I see all the pre-cuts. Was that your question? I'm glad it helped. I will say, when I got moved in and I got all of my fabric unpacked and put on the shelves behind me, I was still buying fabric. But then when my friend Mary came and helped me, and by help, I mean she did it, but when she helped me organize this in Color Family, I kind of stopped buying fabric so much because I was like, I don't need more blue. Because what I gravitate towards are certain colors like corals, blues, some low volumes. I gravitate towards those, and I get some pinks and purples and batiks in there. And now I look at that and I'm like, no, I've got plenty of coral. I'm good. I've got plenty of blue. I'm good. It makes it a lot easier, and it makes it easier to pull from my fabric to make stuff. So I've been sewing more, mostly from my stash. I've actually not been buying much fabric. And I think I probably have enough fabric to last me, goodness, probably a very long time. But I'd still buy it, don't worry. Call me Mary Nell or Mert, which, okay, Mert, which is what my family calls me. I'll try to remember that. I will tell you, I am horrible with names. And it's not personal. I just suck with names. I'm really good with faces, but I'm not so great with names. A true story, a gentleman that I worked with, and actually it's even worse than that, he was a contractor that worked on my team that I was the project manager for, program manager for. He was the nicest guy ever. Every time I saw him, he always had a smile, super smart, super easy to get along with. And we had to go to a meeting. We had to go to a meeting. And we get in the pool car and we drive out to where this meeting is. And as we're getting in the car, one of my leaders above me gets in the car and I introduce him. And I was like, oh, so-and-so, have you met Noah? And they shake his hand. Oh, hi, Noah. How are you? And da-da-da-da-da. We get to the meeting. I introduce him as Noah. Not once, not twice, but 3 times while we're there. The whole morning goes. All 4 hours that we're at this offsite meeting, I'm introducing him to everyone as Noah. Noah, 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 Noah. And every time he graciously shakes their hand and he says hi. He doesn't correct himself to any of them. Super, super polite. And at the end of the day, as we're climbing back into the car to head back to the office, he leans across to me and says, by the way, you do know my name's not Noah, right? And as soon as he said that, I was like, oh my gosh, Scott, I am so sorry. And I work with him. I worked with him every single day. So just saying, if I mess up your name and I revert back to a YouTube name, it is not anything personal. I have a hard time with names. Poor Noah. I mean, Scott. I just did it again. Oh, it's so bad. Meredith says, I am hearing a musical ringing sound, almost like there is crystal goblets vibrating. Strange. And I thought my hearing aids acting up. No, it's my bobbin winding. See, because now it's probably done. I was winding a bunch of bobbins. And so for anybody that wants to know, because I know this is one of the questions that I get all the time, how many bobbins do you wind? I do 6 down here and then 1 for the bobbin case, so 7. I change my needle every 7-ish bobbins. Hi, Zakaya, is that right? But Ozark, I think I'm going to remember Mert, because that's a pretty unique name. I already forgot the other one. But Mert. Fallon says, I have such a hard time with names. Pronouncing things in general is a real struggle for me. What are you working on? Susan Eurout wants to know. So surprised to see you on a Thursday. I know, right? Me too. I'm surprised to be on a Thursday, but I wanted to sew and I didn't want to be alone. I am just quilting up some fabric that will be used in some postcards. Hey, listen, Bobbin. I don't want to come up. You guys ever have that happen where you put the bobbin into the bobbin case and you put it into the machine and the bobbin doesn't want to get picked up? Oops, yep, that was testing the tension. I think it might be a hair too tight. No, actually not. Maybe not. It's coming out, which is good. Okay, let me try this one more time. Oh, get back in there. Now we're going to put it back in. Click it into place. I'm going to sew over here and see if I can pull out that bobbin thread. Nope, still nothing. What the heck is going on? It started sewing and then it stopped. Wonder if the bobbin is too tight. Yeah, I think the bobbin's actually too tight. Nope, it's right there. Okay. Let's see what happens this way. Maybe I had it in upside down. Is that possible? Can you do that? Oh, it rhymes with IKEA. Zakia. Got it. Zakia. I will try to remember that, but as I just described to everybody, Zakia. I'm horrible with the names. Okay, you know what, guys? I don't know why, but my machine is not sewing anymore, which means it's time to stop. I will, however, trim this up because I do have enough quilted surface to make this a finished postcard. Fallon said, your sewing machine is tired. It needs a nap, probably. Wait, Ian said, Vivian, none of us are giving away any wine. I don't know if that's legal. All right, I'm just going to fuse this to the Peltex, and I'm not even going to stay stitch it to that card. We're just going to zoom it. It's almost 9 o'clock. I got to work in the morning, so this will probably be it for me. If you have any questions, put it in there. I knew you meant win. She said I entered to win your quilt. Good luck. I hope you win. If that's what you want, I hope you win. I hope whoever gets my quilt is really excited. Joanne says, I bought one of the So Yeah Retreat used Jukies. I'm afraid to even take it out of the box. I am so nervous that I'll mess it up. That side load bobbin case, among other things, you can't mess it up, Jonah. You'll be fine. And here's what, okay? The guys are phenomenal. And if you have any questions or issues, they will help you. So I would not worry about it. I would just do it. Just do it. It's the Nike motto. Just do it. Take it out. Open her up. Start using it. I'm going to find a scrap of fabric. I want this fixed. That's ugly fabric. Can I use that? I don't like it. Huh. I had little teeny tiny bits in here. That's what I was looking for. Hello, teeny tiny bits. There you is. I found you, teeny tiny bits. Literally, it's sewing now. It's sewing now. Silly. Silly goose. I want to test the tension because I messed with the bobbin a bit. So I'm just going to see how my top tension looks, see if that bobbin needs to be adjusted. Do I see the humps? Might be a little too loose. It was at the 10 o'clock position. I just turned it to the 11 o'clock position. Try and get it back in here. Click it in. See how that looks. That's better. Yeah, that's better. Let's try a 2 and 4. Oh yeah, much better. Okay. I'm going to press this and then I think I'm going to go to bed. So I got to get up at 5 o'clock. Becca, you just had to hold your tongue just right. I do that. The other thing that I do, I don't know if anybody's ever noticed this, I smile. And maybe I don't do it as much as I used to, but whenever I was focusing growing up, I always got this face. Like, like squinted with the, that was my concentrating face. And then I think over, as I got older, I tried making a a concentrated effort to not do that because, okay, so one time, one time I was in the 3rd grade, okay, and I was still doing that. Like that was my concentration face. I remember I was in the 3rd grade, and I remember I was concentrating on something. I don't remember what it was, but I had the face. And the teacher had to go to the office, so she left one of my classmates in charge of the classroom. And back then, if you weren't good, they put your name on the board, and then you would get like up to 4 checks next to your name. And if you got 4 checks, you had to go to the principal's office or something. And I was always a really good kid, so I never wanted to go to the principal's office. I left that for my brother and sister. I was trying to be the good kid. There we go. Another one done. So I remember I was sitting there and one of the kids was acting up. I don't know anything about what he was doing. I couldn't remember, but I remember he was acting up and I was concentrating. So here I am sitting in the classroom with this face. The girl at the front of the class thought I was laughing at him. I wasn't laughing at him. I was focusing or straining concentration, whatever. And so when the teacher came back, my name was on the board and they told her it was because I was laughing at the kid who was causing trouble, which was not true. But I got in trouble that day for something that was completely misunderstood. But yeah. So because of that, I have tried over the years to tame that, like tone it down. And so sometimes you'll see me kind of like, if I'm really focusing, I'm like, I'll stick my tongue out. I don't know why. I feel like I just have to make weird faces when I'm doing things. So that's where that comes from. Zakia says, side note, my sewing machine bobbin thread has loops. Can you tell me what to do? Yes. So go look this up on YouTube. It's always opposite. If you have loops on the bottom of your fabric, it is because the tension on the top of your machine is not set correctly. And that could be just that the machine is threaded incorrectly. If you skip one of these steps or one of these holes, it could literally make the difference. Like literally, if I take the thread off of this mast and start sewing, you would think that wouldn't matter. It matters. Every single one of the steps, your thread needs to be through there. Every single one, whatever machine you're on, make sure it's threaded properly. That would be the first thing I would tell you to do. If you have unthreaded the machine and threaded it properly and replaced the needle and that still happens, then I would look at setting your top tension, and every machine is different. So you will have to look in your sewing machine manual to figure out how to do that. Worst case scenario, you can always take it into a sewing machine technician. If you, when you're doing your, if your tension is properly balanced, you should not see the bobbin thread, the bottom thread coming up through the top, and you should not see the top thread going down through the bottom. You shouldn't see it peeking through, but you also definitely should not see loops. Now, here's the thing that I always give myself grace for, because I could literally just start over analyzing it. I just try to not look for eyelashes, because when you're sewing, the needle is separating the fibers in your quilt and a little bit of the batting and the quilt backing so that it can reach down and grab that thread and make the connection and sew. And they should be nesting in the layers and in the quilt batting somewhere. But when those fibers separate, sometimes I feel like where it didn't make a hole, it didn't cut your thread, but where it pushed the fibers or the weave out of the way, I feel like sometimes I see that little hole and I feel like I'm not sure if I'm seeing the bobbin thread up on top or whatever. So what I look for is humps. I look for defined stitches. I'm just making sure that on the bottom, I don't see eyelashes or loops. And on the top, I am seeing defined stitches, not a running straight line of thread. That's what I'm looking for. I hope that answers it, but look it up if you're not sure. Mary says, something I often see new sewers do is not slightly pulling down in the thread when it goes into the tension dial and threading the machine. I actually had that same issue on my Amara, and it's you're gonna laugh. I had my long arm for a whole year and I never had this problem. And I went over and I put poly thread into it. I put polyester thread in because I was gonna sew with polyester thread, which is slicker and it slides a little bit more. And everything I did, I kept getting major loops on the bottom, major loops on the bottom. And I was looking at the thread, it was through all of the little hooks, all the little circles, all the little guides. It was everywhere. And there was that tension disc, and it was in the tension disc too. And I was so frustrated, so frustrated. I kept unthreading and rethreading the machine. I kept rethreading the needle. I changed the needle. I did all the things that I thought I knew to do. And eventually I went to the Facebook Handy Quilter group for people that have Amaras, and I showed a picture and I talked about what I was doing. And this lady very nicely comes back and says, check to make sure that the thread is securely clicked into the tension disc. And I went, okay. And I thought to myself, I've done this. I have threaded the machine multiple times. I have already done that. This is stupid. Something's wrong with the machine. And so I went over there and I channeled myself. I was like, no, we're just going to do what she said. So I unthreaded the machine this time and threaded it one more time. And this time I took the thread, and when I flossed it into the tension disc, I pulled it taut enough that I heard it click. And then I started sewing, and guess what? Yeah, the loops went away. She was right. It was in the tension disc, but it wasn't in the tension disc. It wasn't clicked in there, so the machine wasn't holding it and applying enough tension to it so that when I sewed, it did what it was supposed to do, and as a result, I was getting loops on the bottom. So, yeah, Mary's not wrong. I had machine for a year and a half before I learned that lesson. So even somebody who's experienced on the machine can still make that mistake. Pulling down on the thread, not in. Yes. Jewel says, I have a question about your containers to your left with the blue handles. Could you please tell me what size they are and where you bought them? Yes. So I have two sizes, and I'll show you both. These were both off of Amazon. They are Sterilite containers. They are my favorite storage containers. Don't use the small ones as much. These are more for scraps. But the small one is 11 inches long by 6.5 inches wide by 2 3/4 inch deep. I'll repeat that. 11 inches long by 6 5/8 inches wide by 2 3/4 high. That's the small one. This is the one that I absolutely love for my project. So everything I do for my project, all my fabric, my pattern, everything goes in one of these. And this one measures 8.5 by 11. It says 8.5 by 11 paper, but the actual dimensions of this are 14 inches long, 11 inches wide, and 3 1/4 inches high. So 14 long, 11 inches wide, 3 1/4 inches high. It is for the 8.5 by 11 paper model. And the link for these on Amazon is actually on my my website. I think somewhere there's a paper that has all that, but it's Amazon, Sterilite containers. Yep. They are my favorite. Mine did that all this week, and I was making the pillows. Oh no! Wait, Marty? Mort? I've already forgotten. Donna says, always make sure your pressure foot is up when you're threading your machine. It opens the tension discs and allows the thread to run properly. Good point. Patty Strain says, I changed the thread brand that I was using and eliminated all the tension problems I was having. There you go. Jewel says, thank you, Becca. You told me about the big ones before, and I love them for my projects, and they are ready to sew. Yes. And I actually had all of these. This is hilarious that this is what you see down here, right? I actually had all those way up top on the top of my shelves. And I realized anytime I wanted to sew a project, I was pulling out my ladder, climbing all the way to the top, getting the project, bringing it down. And then sometimes I didn't want to pull out the ladder. So I was doing this thing where I was standing on my tippy toes and pulling out the one in the bottom with just the tip of my finger because I could barely reach it. And so both of them would come out. One would hit me on the head and it was a whole thing. And I was like, wait a minute, I have my project bins on the top and then my fat quarter bundles and my pre-cuts underneath it. I never really open a fat quarter bundle, and when I do, it goes into a bin. So why do I have those all the way at the top? If I want to sew, I should have them down here. So I reorganized and I made it more effective. So what's down here in these two, all these bins, these are all of my active projects or wannabe active projects. They're all labeled. They're all right here. So when I'm ready to sew something, you can see I've got a bin here. This is my postcard bin. I just grab it from here. It's right there for me. They're nice and labeled. I know exactly what I'm done. And then when I'm done, like I am for tonight, when I am done working on my project, so I've been keeping all my Christmas fabric in here to make Christmas postcards. These are pieces of paper that I have already cut down to size. I just put everything back together. I put my lid on it and boom, it goes back on my shelf. I have this embroidery, I have this stack of stuff that I just set up there that I want to do something with. But I have that embroidery kit too that I want to play with as well. So I'll leave that out because I forgot it was there. Anyway, that's what I do. That works for me. Ian says, I made that mistake so many times of not putting my presser foot up while threading my machine. Mert, thank you. See, I was going to call you Marty. It makes it a little bit easier for me when I'm threading my machine because I've got my knee lift here and I feel like when I turn, my knee hits the knee bar and it lifts the presser foot for me. Lori says, you are so organized. Awesome. I am organized-ish. I could be better organized, but I do like finding organization solutions. And I appreciate my friend Mary, who is an organizing freak. I don't want to use, I said freak. I shouldn't have said that. I don't mean that an offensive term. She loves to organize and she loves to find organizing solutions. And so one of the things I really get excited about is when she's like, oh yeah, have you thought about this? And I'm like, oh, that works. And then I just take it and I run with it. So, because sometimes I see the problem, I see a mess, I see chaos, I see a problem, and I can't figure out how to get out of it. But she's really good at finding solutions to those problems, suggesting ways that I can solve them. And it helps me feel organized. I feel like, and this is just me, everybody works in their own way, but I feel like when I have things a little bit tidy, a little bit more organized, it allows me to come into my space and just create and then go to bed like I'm going to do now. So thank you so much. Felice Waters says, I love listening to you. I love that you're here with me. Tori Altman says, I love your fabric wall, so organized. You can thank Mary for this. She did the color order. This shelf and this shelf is actually all batiks, and they are in color order, and then everything else is a shelf of its own color. So anyway, it's 9 o'clock. Thank you guys for making some postcards with me. I appreciate it. It was nice sewing and not being alone while I was doing that. I will be back here tomorrow night, 8 p.m. live. I have no idea what I'm going to be making. Actually, I have an idea. I need to make some little zipper pouches, like boxy pouches. I have a pattern I was thinking about using, but Tracy from the Sewing Channel just released a video on how to make these really quick and simple. So I might give that a look and see if I can make those. I want to make some of those for stocking stuffers. So that's all I've got for tonight, friends. Thank you for hanging out with me. I'll see you guys all tomorrow night. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. See you tomorrow night. Bye. Bye, Jim. I see you.